So, say a few months ago, I like this girl. I'm 17, and summertime, go on a date, get friend zoned, right? Normal situation. Still like her, still hang out with her. Um, we're still friends, right? And I'm confused on what I should do.
Mm-hmm.
I still like this girl, right? Um, I saw your video. I think you're the one that created the you shouldn't keep a streak with a girl you like, right?
No.
With that video. No, you didn't. Okay, I
No, I did.
apologize.
I did. Yeah. I did create
Yeah.
that. I said, yeah, you're right. No, you shouldn't. That was my point.
Um, I I need the streak. I need focused on myself, right? Trying to do things right, but I don't know if it's the right thing to go for.
Hmm. Okay, I see. So how long you been friends with her?
So I've known her for a little bit, but we've started hanging out a lot over the past summer. So like 3 months, so going on to the fourth month, right? It so about that time period. If
Okay, so you've been friends for 4 months.
yeah,
Okay. Right. So now, did you just mess up the dynamic, or did you get friend zoned immediately?
I messed up the dynamic. So if I understand correctly, the from the point I didn't really care for her up until this point, I guess, or for the first date, like I'd say like April, no, June, yeah,
Mhm.
June. So up until that point, right, we were hanging out in a group setting, and we went out to dinner, right, with a couple friends, and those friends thought we were dating. Then I might have. She has a joking personality, right? I might have mistook it, but they thought me and her were dating, right? And she said, "Oh yeah." The question came up. She said, "Oh yeah, we're dating," in like a joking sense, because one of our friends thought we were dating, and they
Mm.
asked, right? And from that point, I asked her to the like we went on a date in the zoo. We went to the zoo. She said yes, right? Um, but then right after, like a few hours after, she said, "I'm sorry, I only think of you as a friend." But
Mm.
now
Mhm.
it's confusing at best, I should say. That was about 3 months ago. That date.
Mm. I see. I see. Yeah, I mean, realistically, you messed up because I mean, it's tough. Like, I'll tell you everything, you'll understand it, but the performance of it is something you just got to work on, right? Obviously, there's a performance element to this, right? So she obviously found you
Yeah,
attractive enough to go on a date with you or whatever, and then you probably just showed her way too much boyfriend energy up front. That's what it sounds like to me, you know?
I
And
get you.
yeah, it's just one of those things where I think guys need to understand that when you have girls are experts. They really are, man. Now, a lot of guys will start pointing out, oh, how come, girls go for these bad guys, whatever, whatever. I mean, there are girls that are traumatized that go for bad guys, but the funny thing is that bad guy sometimes is way better at survival situations even than your average good guy that can go and get a job at an office, you know? So
Yeah,
so even then there's a rationale as to why a girl would want a guy like that because he's just much more capable of becoming independent in a sense. And a lot of guys have a problem with that because they think that, oh, being a nice guy is the ultimate virtue. It's like, oh, being nice is, to be held on the highest standard, which is just not correct. So now let's boil that down to your situation. By
yeah.
showing her all this boyfriend energy, the way that she's reading it is this. Why is this guy so nice to me? He doesn't really even know me. So what does that register in her head? Oh, well, this guy probably doesn't have that many other options. He's picking me not out of because he wants me, but because of desperation. And you can really see how quickly your picture or the picture of you erodes in her head.
I
And
get you.
so this is why, and a lot of guys will deny this until they enter this experience. And the reality is a lot of people have a problem with this, man, but I don't trust people's opinions on anything, really. I don't trust their own opinions of themselves because I don't think that the majority of the population actually looks at themselves in an accurate lens and can tell you an accurate picture of themselves. I genuinely don't think it's possible. So then, if they can't do that, why would you trust what they say about themselves? or their
Yeah.
situation. Like, you know, I don't trust some people's analysis of anything because I know everyone's delusional. So for that reason, when people say things to you, you should never believe them. So like, for example, when girls say, oh, I really want a nice guy. Yeah, we've all heard this story before. We really want a nice guy, and you get the nice guy, and then you treat him like
Yeah.
so we've all heard this story. Any guy with half a brain has seen it. He knows something is weird about it. But to break out of that, right, it's important to understand. I think once you start to understand the unflattering nature of not female, but human sexual dynamics, you start to understand, well, there's a purpose to all of this, whether most people are aware of it or not, doesn't matter. So in your situation, there's a purpose to being more disciplined and not jumping in and not trying to, you know, be too buddy
Friendly.
and friendly and
Yeah.
and start, and what a lot of guys will do is they'll start trialing like future relationships. So it's almost like sales. You ever had a sales job before?
No, I have not.
Okay, so in sales, there's a common technique that people use where they try to, when they're talking to the customer, they're trying to sell a product, they will do this psychological thing where they say, oh, can you picture, can you see how this product would look really, really good in this space?
Oh yeah, my
And-
dad does. He's a realtor.
There
he
you
does
go.
that all the time.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
that's a psychological trick, because what you're trying to do, you're trying to get that person to visualize that product when it's already theirs. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to get them already warmed up to the idea that they own that product. You're bypassing that sales, that blockage, that filter, that guard. That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the
Yeah.
whole purpose of that technique. So the same way though, guys, what they try to do, they go on dates, they start saying things like, oh yeah, next time we hang out, we'll do this, or all, you know, and what they're trying to do. And girls are extremely perceptive to this because they understand exactly what the guy is saying when he says shit like this. And girls don't like that because now they understand, they're very perceptive socially, and they understand the guy is trying to lock them down. But on a primitive level, why would a guy ever want to lock a girl down? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It really doesn't. You know, like a guys primitively, we want every girl on earth.
Mhm.
You know, and it's like at some point, you as a man have to like respect and understand your own desire for that, and then work around that. You know, like it's unflattering, sure, but truthfully, every guy in his core wants every single woman, and the guys that tell you otherwise are delusional and lying.
For sure.
And now,
And I did.
yeah,
Oh, sorry. I did leave out a cute. As you're talking more and more things, I understand because you gave that information. She was completely independent, right? She could pay for her own stuff. Like I know guys should pay for this, for the tickets, right? Pay for their meal and stuff like that for the first date. But she was like willing to pay for her own stuff, and I don't know if I should have let her at that point. But
Yeah.
I digress. But at the end of the date, right? I bought her this necklace, and like as you were saying, I have a vision of, oh, I'm trying to be a salesman, like you were saying, right?
Mhm.
I bought her a necklace that was completely out of line. The date was awkward. It was suboptimal, not a good date, right? Awkward
Yeah.
at best. And I bought her this necklace, and I'm like, now I think about it now, 4 months later. At the time, I only knew her for a month,
Yeah,
but at the time, I'm like, oh, why did I do that? That was a horrible mistake.
totally.
Like-
huge.
So I see what you mean.
Yeah, because girls know what they deserve and don't deserve.
Mhm.
You know, they understand it on a deep level. So if you're buying them shit they know they haven't deserved, they know you're trying to trick on them.
Mhm.
Now, some girls are a little bit more evil, so they'll just accept the trickery and maybe keep the guy around to accept the benefits and not take him seriously. Some girls are capable of that. It's not necessarily every girl, but you know, I think a lot of guys get confused by this because like, oh, why does she hang out with me? She doesn't like me. Well, you're probably giving her some benefit that she likes, and maybe she doesn't have that moral, or not even moral, but girls are very good at receiving gifts. You know, girls love to receive. That's their job, is to receive. All right. So when they receive, you can't expect a girl to tell you directly, oh, I don't want this. You know, they're just gonna keep taking in some cases. Now, in your case, that didn't even happen. You bought the gift and she got weird and said, I think we're just friends, which, hey, at least she was honest with you.
Yeah.
If you like what you saw, subscribe to my channel and check out my website in the description to book a call. Thanks for watching.